everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the podcast for HR and by HR professionals called the Talent Playbook. Here we understand from our HR leaders as to what is the trend they are seeing in 2026, how are they managing change in their organizations, and how they are shaping learning there. Today we have with us Lakshmi. Lakshmi, welcome. Welcome to Talent Playbook. Today, Lakshmi is representing the HR fraternity from the hospitality industries. In her 18 years of career, she has passed through many industries she has been a part of. And I see the trend, her being part of very people-intensive, people-centric industries where the success of that business dependent largely on how the human capital is being managed. So welcome once again, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Sudeshna. Thank you for having me.
So without much ado, straight to our what we want to really hear you and get your insights on is a lot of noise on how things are going to be. Everybody is predicting these days. So how do you see the talent function or the HR function, or what do you see as the key trend for 2026 for the organizations?
I think we'll keep it simple. I think 2 to 3 things that is really needed at this point of time for the talent. One is skill will replace roles. Now, what do I mean by this? This means the organizations will start using the skills of employees, not the roles as a base for hiring or deployment or succession. Now, what do we mean here? This means that all the skills will be tied to the business outcomes, and they will be measured by the impact that they are going to create. Now, we've heard a lot about it. What is the signal? So anything where there is an ability to hear the noise from the signal is very key for any business. So when I say that, the skills are replacing roles, let's take an example. So, if you talk about the talent management, let's say we are going to hire a learning manager with 10 years of experience. That's the typical structure or typical way of hiring someone. Mm-hmm. Now, if you look at the shift from being a role fit to an outcome fit, what will you look? You will look at the skills. Now, what could be the skill? The skill could be learning analytics, or let's say it is a performance consulting, or let's say it's a content design, etc. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the outcome that we are trying to see? Are we reducing the time to productivity? Are we ensuring that our frontline roles are going up by X%? So that is something that we are trying to see. So the real question is a shift where you say, can you do this role? Can you deliver this outcome? So that is how we are going to see that. So it is mostly on a shift from actually doing a role-based hiring to a more of delivering an outcome. So that is something that we are seeing. The other bit is, let's say, succession planning. Earlier, the trend has been that it is mostly by the tenure that the employee spends in an organization, because that the person is there for a long time and you are ready to bet on that person. But now the shift is, is the person really ready to take over that role, though he or she has been in the system for long? So that is something that we see, that there is a shift. Now, whether it's a decision making, whether it's the business acumen, whether it is people leadership, now what is the outcome that we are going to create? Are we really having that bench strength for these critical roles? Are these people ready for quick leadership transitions? That is the shift that we are talking about. So these are some of the things that I feel is really changing. So it's largely to do with the skill than the role. So that is something that I would like to keep that way.
I think very very, very, like, the point you have taken up is like very interesting, but it is the way we should be looking at things. Okay, what is creating the impact rather than the line items I have to do in my JD, right? So it's absolutely kind of incredibly explained also. Thank you for that. The trends show a lot of shifts, a lot of way in which you have to do. So just the way you explained that example, the way it will be hired, the way they have to look at the role, the way everything, we are seeing a lot of changes being expected of people. So how is your organization gearing up to managing and leading these changes?
First and foremost, the biggest change that we are seeing now is it's no more HR driven, it is people driven, manager driven, person driven. That means HR doesn't have to go and assign the learning hours or mandate the learning hours for an employee, example, right? Now he or she himself has started realizing that if he or she is not upskilled, then they will not be able to perform. So I think there are many ways organizations are trying to change, but I will want to probably share something that has worked really well for us, because that is something that I can really talk about, how successful we were in trying to bring in a change. One is involving people. We have involved people. We have done a small exercise, something to do with start, stop, continue. Now this organization has been about 40 years, right? Has its own legacy. Then there is and it's really evolving, right? So what we did, we are doing very simple things, but it has got a larger impact. So we did a small exercise in terms of people, process, technology. What is that we need to start? What is that we need to stop? And what is that we need to continue? Now you have a lot of inputs from these employees. So we see those inputs that are repetitive in nature, because those could be the pain points for people and in different functions. So that becomes your input, and also you are involving your people, so that you are going to do something that where people need or looking forward to creating a change, right? The second is transparency. Transparency becomes a very, very important bit when you are driving the change. Now you got to really be transparent to people and say, why is the change needed? What is going to change? What is there in it for the employees? How are we going to make this happen? We also got to assure and reassure them that it is not to take away their jobs, but to ensure that they are going to do better with the kind of change interventions that we are going to drive. So I think these are two things which is important. The third thing is, I have also seen some of the organizations creating change agents. Now, who are these change agents? They are influencers. Now, these are the people who are really great people managers. They have their aura that they have created. They also meet employees in smaller groups, and they talk about how we are going to make an impact or create an impact through the changes that an organization is going to drive. The fourth thing that we could also do is have an open house, have a town hall through the leadership team, because then you have some focus group discussions where you can start targeting some employees and say, why is it really needed, right? It will actually support them in this emotional journey. So it is just not your change strategy. You're actually supporting them in their emotional journey, because change is not something that everybody will take it in a very easy manner, because change itself is resistance, right? But when you are making it more as a support mechanism and help them in that emotional journey, I think that's when we can drive the strategy, create mechanisms to listen to them, be open, be transparent, and also create your leadership presence. Don't just ask somebody else to do that. I think the leader is also equally important there, out to say that why these changes are required. So I think these are some of the ways that we can really create a change. Now, I will just give you an example. The organizations, let's take our own organization. We have been into a manual mode. Now we are trying to create an HRMS to ensure that our processes are more robust and it is error free, right? Now this is not easy because people are used to doing a lot of paperwork and manual work, right? But then now when you actually start talking to employees, talk to them on how it is going to positively impact them by using an HRMS. How is that the monotonous job is going to get reduced, and how is that they can actually involve themselves in creating more impactful roles for themselves, and how is that we can help them upskill themselves. That's when they start taking this very positively, and they themselves start becoming changing agents. Because first is we tell them why is the change. Now when the person himself or herself is convinced that why is this change happening, they then drive the change. We don't have to do anything, right? So it's, I think, to sum it up, it's extremely important to involve people, to be very transparent, and tell them why is this change, and also support in that emotional journey, and tell them that they don't have to be scared about this. It's just to enable them do better. So these are some of the ways I think we can drive this phase.
So, absolutely, like completely in with that involving people, and even telling them, being as open and transparent. If the leaders stand in front and talk to them on it, the impact it creates is going to kind of, as you say, give that inertia to the change. In all this, how has learning impacted for your organization? How are you planning to restructure the way learning is going to? I understood what you said from the beginning, that now people own it. It is no longer that HR has to drive, but then how are those frameworks working for you?
Yeah. So now what we are doing is we are only trying to see how we can upskill the employees and help them ready to take up jobs, not just what they are doing, but also the other kind of jobs. So trying to make them more flexible, trying to help them with skill readiness, and also help them to navigate the change, because there's always a fear now, and industries such as ours, which is non-IT, with a lot of AI coming, with a lot of technology coming, it's a kind of a setback for employees, because they have this fear in mind that will they be able to cope up. But then when you ensure that you are having specific workshops, specific awareness sessions, backing them with certain sessions which will help them understand how is that they can implement this technology in the roles that they play, I think that becomes a lot more easier. Today learning is less about courses, it's more about capability. So that's what we see, right? So first is we start with what is the business need. So basis that, we identify that the skills that are actually driving the results, and we offer the training for these skills that are needed for the employees to meet the business need. Second is we help them learn while doing the job, which is on-job training, right? Because that is more practical with real examples. They will be able to see how they can face it and also resolve the problem, and they try and practice it there, right? So it is just not theory, it is more of practical stuff. So we do a lot of on-job. This is mostly to do with our frontline workers, right? Mm-hmm. So it is more of on-job training. Today, we are also doing the TOT, the trainer program. So the managers themselves are the real teachers. You don't have to have a HR or a training manager to actually go and do that bit. So you create managers who will play a bigger role or a larger role in developing people, whether it is through coaching, feedback, day-to-day guidance. I think these are some of the things that we have done. And again, measuring impact, not the attendance, not that whether 20 on 20 came in. No, we are actually going to track whether it is performance or productivity or readiness that is improved. So that is something that we have been managing the shift of learning in our business.
Now, a few things about Lakshmi. We will just focus on Lakshmi. Lakshmi, one must-have skill for leaders. You think?
I think it is the ability to make sound decisions under ambiguity. I think that is one skill which is really required for leaders. Sound decisions, I would say.
Good. So, what is that one skill or one thing you will be betting on in your organization to get that right?
Definitely, it is manager coaching capability, because today managers are shaping the performance more than any policy or platform can do. So, it is definitely all about shaping managers.
Yeah, great. For you, what has been a toughest thing to unlearn?
We spoke about it. So, it is people always resist to change, right? So they resist the confusions. They also resist the poor leadership, not the change for themselves. So I think that is one of the toughest belief to unlearn.
Okay, and the one thing you would kind of want the leaders to start doing?
Yeah, that's again covered. I think we should stop this annual training calendars. It is no longer going to help us. I think it is more on daily basis when work demands it, not when HR is trying to schedule it. So that is something that I would say, which was earlier a best practice to have a calendar, but I think it is soon becoming obsolete.
Okay, and I think you have focused, on things which are so very practical. So why don't you kind of, round it up with your advice to your peers?
Okay, one thing is be passionate about what you're doing. Ensure that there's always an impact that we create. Impact can always be created when we are really honest. When I say honest, whether it is the honest conversation with the employees and there's no delays, there's no dramas. Always choose people over business. When I say choose people over business, if you're taking care of people, they take good care of the business. So try and equip them with all the skills that is needed for the role. Give them clarity. Do not give them more comfort, give them clarity. I think give them a lot of capability and also help them get to the leadership role and equip them with everything that is needed. I think it is just not to predict the future perfectly, but to build organizations that can really learn, adapt, and stay human through uncertainty. I think these are some of the things that I feel is really needed, and this would be my message to everyone.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you for this today. And I'm taking back myself a lot of things from whatever you said. And it's so important. We started just talking about strategic HR, and you sort of summed it up, that what is the strategic HR all about? It is linking everything to that business outcome. Business outcome at its center. You can create impact if you are putting people to the forefront and building leaders. Whatever you spoke of is about building capability, building leaders, so that they are able to take care of the business result.
Right.
Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for watching us, and I'm sure you gathered amazing insights from what Lakshmi told us today. So keep watching this, our Talent Playbook, and give us feedback on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sudeshna, for having me. I think with whatever we have done, however we have made an impact on the employees, I think I was able to share a bit. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.